Rest stop for Elden Ring on the PlayStation 4. I'm here at the impassable Great Bridge because I'm trying to farm a few more runes because I'm going to try and visit a merchant. I found a couple of them, but I haven't found a crafting kit yet. And I'm mentioning that because as I kind of wander through the rest of the game trying to find some piece of kit that will help me craft items, I'll just use that as an excuse to end the video, or end the playlist for now. I played this game for the first time last week. I've dumped about 15 hours into this particular character, who's my warrior right here. Chose the warrior because I didn't know what I was doing, and I knew they had a lot of stats that I seemed interested in at the time. Like, dexterity seemed interesting. I don't need it, I guess. Apparently it determines how well I can resist attacks. I don't know. I'm not sure. I haven't bothered to see how much stronger it makes me. I haven't even bothered. I also have a astrologer that I've been using because I wanted to see if I could use some ranged attacks, some long distance magic attacks. Hasn't quite worked out the way I would have liked, unfortunately. I'm not a huge fan of the chests they got here, or the inventory system they got here. I guess the best way to describe it is it's not always easy to find the items you're looking for. But I haven't been spending much, and I can't imagine how cumbersome it's going to be when I actually get to crafting. We'll see how it goes. There is an encumbrance system in this game in terms of weight, because if you carry too much weight, that's going to limit how fast you can roll. I think when you've used up most of your equipment load, let me show you that. You've used up most of your equipment load right here. You get your ability to roll is significantly reduced. And eventually at some point when you exceed that maximum equipment load, you can't roll at all. What that means is based on what you actually have equipped, not what you're carrying. This isn't Skyrim. But based on what you actually are wearing, your armor, your swords, your weapons, that stuff. That stuff determines the effectiveness of your roll, how far you can roll, and if you can roll at all. It's never been a problem for me. And is that specifically mentioned here? I want to say it's mentioned here. It's not mentioned here. But it's in the inventory section. Because the tutorial is here in the back of the inventory section. Don't even get me started on that. In fact, is that mentioned here about... No. Did I not find it yet? Well, I did get a bow. I'll show you that later. Yeah, it's not mentioned here. In my other playthrough, when I was playing as the astrologer, they mentioned that your equipment load determines how much you can roll and if you can roll at all. Again, not a problem here. I'm dual wielding. Press up on the D-pad, and I can, there's nothing on my D-pad there. Press left around the D-pad to switch between the weapons that are in my left hand and my right hand. I have a shield, which I never use, and a bow, which I can use for long-range attacks. And I can press down to switch between my red flask for healing health, my blue flask for healing magic spells and skill points, and my wondrous physic, which I've never built it. I've never used that for anything. Apparently it's for making custom stuff. I never use it. Hold triangle and press down to summon my steed. I should probably mention this right off the bat. Go to the right-hand side of the screen from the pause menu. You can go right here. Change the items that are in your pouch right here. These buttons right here. Up, right, down, left. That determines what gets mapped to the triangle button. I didn't mean to do that. Well, I had no runes anyway. I've never used this before. Apparently, if you get stuck, you can use that particular item to drop all of your runes and just teleport to the nearest site of grace. Those are the bonfires. Those are the places where you can save your game and respawn everything. Now, again, the reason I'm here, and I lost all my runes. Again, if you don't care about getting them back, you're fine. If you want them back, that's a last ditch effort. Start. Switch. That's what I meant to do. So I'll put the steed on the up arrow, and that's on the down arrow. The memory of grace. That's the item I just used accidentally. Hold on the triangle button. You can see the menu at the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. I can press up to summon my steed. Because I think when you find your third or your fourth site of grace on the map, you unlock the ability to get a steed, which is mapped to this spectral steed whistle. It works in most areas if you're wandering around the overworld. If you're in a cave, it won't work. If you're in a certain part of a castle, it won't work. If you step into a building, it doesn't work. And there are certain bosses that make it disappear. If you're invaded by one of those red specters, their steed will disappear and you can't summon it back. But most of the time, you're able to run around the map, avoid most of the combat, do a lot of exploring on this steed, which is how I'm level 38. In fact, the reason I'm level 38 right now is because I'm farming here. I'm sitting right here, just farming crap. If enemies get into fights with each other, they will die and you'll get runes when they're defeated, even if you didn't do any of the fighting. So the easiest way to level up here in version 1.0 of Elden Ring is to just sit here and gain experience. And I think about every 4,000 to 6,000 runes you're allowed to level up, which is why I'm level 38. I've just been sitting here farming runes. In less than a minute, you get maybe a couple thousand runes. You see right now, I got 3,000 runes just sitting here in the last minute or so. When I get fancy, what? I thought there were more of them. When I get fancy, there are other rats, giant rats over there. You can send the soldiers over there to kill them, or the soldiers will die instead. If the soldiers die, they might leave a short sword or a dagger or some other kind of weapon, and can't really promise anything. That was the dinosaur we're doing. The rat dinosaur. Okay, so it finally died. So I got about 5,000 runes just by doing that. They're attacking me now. There are archers there on the roof. I might try to fight them by the end of this video. That bridge, yeah, they're following me. They can jump. Unlike Skyrim, enemies can jump. In some cases, they can't really get around. If you get onto a boulder, that will help you out early in the game. Jumping onto a boulder and, you know, kind of attacking them from a height. Just kind of having a place to escape to so you can kind of get your bearings, drink your potions. That does help. I need 9,000 runes now. That's okay. Again, I've been spending most of my time increasing my vigor so I can get more hit points, and increasing my endurance so I can get more stamina points. So if I have to run away, I can. Again, this character I chose is apparently about dual wielding. I wasn't really paying attention to that at the time. Dual wielding doesn't really seem that useful. Hold down the triangle button, press L1, press R1 to put two hands on the weapon in your right hand. Hold triangle, press L1 to put two hands on the weapon in your left hand. Which changes your combo tree, basically. It changes the attacks you have available to you. I almost never do that. Apparently you can also block with certain weapons. Oh, I should probably mention this. I'm sorry, I should have mentioned this earlier. Do you want to pause the game, sir? See how the fire's still moving above my head? I can't change this, can I? Press help, go to the menu explanation. That pauses the game. Apparently that's the only real way to pause the game. People will attack you if you just sit here in the inventory screen. Press help. Can you see that? Let me go to the simple view. So the fire's still up. Fire's still burning. Press the help button. Go to menu explanation. Now the fire is frozen. You have to go here to pause the game. It's annoying. It's frustrating. People complain all the time about their inability to pause games because I'm playing offline. I'm not online. So why can't you pause the game like every other video game that's been made since 1983? I don't know. If you were online and you were fighting with somebody, I can understand that. Because when you're online, you can be invaded. There are certain mechanics in this game that require other individuals to be with you in real time. It's kind of like a fighting game in that sense. So pausing the game would basically not allow the game to... If you pause the game, your character would basically still be in the virtual world. And everything would be happening around you, but you wouldn't be moving. If you have to go to the bathroom, that's how you pause the game. If someone's at the door, you get an important phone call. Put the game controller down, pause the game, and then do this. Here's the problem. If you're in the middle of a boss fight, this doesn't work. If you're in the middle of combat, this doesn't work. Surprisingly, this hasn't been a problem for me yet. But it is, I can imagine being in some death gauntlet, being in the middle of a really long and tedious and incredibly interminable boss fight, and not being able to pause the game and use the bathroom. So I'm just going to have to eat it. I'm going to have to accept the fact that I'm going to die because I can't pause the game. It's stupid. It makes no sense. It's the year 2022 when this game came out. There is zero reason why you can't pause a video game. I understand if you're a kid, you don't have to be anywhere, fine. For God's sakes. It's this idea that because you're playing video games, you're immersed and you shouldn't be interrupted, and I don't understand it. There is no rule of immersion that says you can't use the bathroom. If the bathroom breaks your immersion, that's just real life telling you you have more important things to do to play a video game. I'm sorry. I'm sure at some point, you know, these people will become, you know, middle managers, I guess, and they won't allow people to go use the bathroom when they're at work or something. I don't know. People got their priorities jacked. So again, once I reach 9,000, we'll be able to level up. What will I increase? I don't know. I can't find a staff. So I guess if you want to use magic spells, you need a staff. And so far, I've only played as 2 characters. The astrologer starts the game with a staff that spits out blue magic spells. So that's fine. Okay, so I'll summon the, there's one more rat over there. And there is a mounted soldier over here guarding this area. There he is. Okay, now he sees me. Wow! I forgot he could actually shoot stuff. He actually does shoot stuff occasionally. So the rat's dead. I gotta take my potion. Wrong potion. I don't even have a wonder. I don't even have a flask, so I don't even know why I was drinking. Wow! Dude keeps it real. Well, there's also a bird over here. I can summon the bird, but I'm not going to get many hit points for it. Is he gone? No, he's not. Sup, fellas? Ow. Guess he found something else to eat. A lot of these guys won't attack you unless you, like, get up in their face. Okay, let's get some more soldiers over here. Hey, guys. Want to eat? He's probably still chasing me, isn't he? Alright, so that's how you do that. So that's another way to farm runes. And again, if you die, the runes are left behind in a safe-ish location from where you died. So you're able to pick them right back up if you can get there. And now I'm able to level up. Yeah, they have projectiles. That could be a problem. I don't see... They did not drop any loot. That's disappointing. Oh well. Like I said, there are archers up there. We might mess around with them later. So I'll head over to the shopkeeper and see if I can... Well, first of all, I can also get some more runes so I can sell some stuff. But this is where I go to farm runes. You have to press the left stick to get off the horse. Alright, so how do I do this? Level up. We'll sell some, we'll get some of these runes. I don't think I really need any more stamina. What I really need is just more hit points as far as I'm concerned. But now it's getting to the point where it takes you like more than a minute to level up. I can't imagine leveling up without farming areas like this. Like all the combat you would have to do would get really frustrating. And apparently they patched that out of the game. So I guess there goes easy mode for Elden Ring. But it's worth noting this is the most accessible Dark Souls game I've played. I played Demon Souls, the 3 Dark Souls games, and Bloodborne. This is the easiest Dark Souls game From Software has ever made, as far as I know. Well, it's the easiest one I've ever played. But by easy, I mean you can avoid most of the Dark Souls BS, which I'm a fan of. I tried playing all the other Demon Souls games, They're basically corridor. They're basically character action corridor shooters. Not even corridor shooters. They're basically games where you skulk around corridors and get into fights with individual enemies, or you can avoid them. But eventually, your progress is limited by large enemies, and so at some point, it's like a traditional 2D platformer in that sense, except it's a 3D game, and you're basically getting into these incredibly technical duels. And these duels ultimately wind up with you in a situation where you're going to die because you can't make progress because either some really strong enemy is going to take you out or a boss character is gating your progress, and you have to get through one of those really hard fights without being able to pause the game, by the way, before you're allowed to advance. So at that point, the game becomes something like a boss rush with a bunch of murder gauntlets. And you have to baby the stamina meter, and your character's not that fast. And this game gets around most of that by giving you a big open world that's worth exploring, giving you a horse that makes it easier for you to avoid combat if you want. So if you have more places to go to kind of poke around the edges and kind of see if there's anything you want to defeat. Are there any enemies you want to fight? Are there any areas you want to clear out? Do you want to get into fight with these people? Because if you don't, the game doesn't punish you as much as the other Dark Souls games do. Because the other Dark Souls games don't let you make any progress until you beat those enemies. But this game gives you a lot more stuff to do if you don't want to pick fights with enemies on a regular basis. The ratio of Dark Souls BS to exploration is way more manageable in this game. And I am a fan.
Back already. Unusual fella, aren't we? Did this aged merchant have something that caught your eye?
Probably not. I might want to buy a few things. Again, coats. Okay, this is for putting elemental affinities like poison or debuffs on your weapons, which I may not use. Against certain enemies, it might be fun to try, though. But again, it's all about experimentation, because the game doesn't tell you any of this stuff. You might just experiment with it. Again, container required for crafting throwable pots. Material used for crafting items. What? Where's the crafting kit? I have no idea. A spear. This might be interesting, I guess. Yeah, I can buy better armor, I guess. We'll worry about that later. Glintstone Sorcerer's Note. No idea what that's for. Again, so I guess they want me to just waste a bunch of money and just see if I get anything. I mean, I can farm runes, no problem. Just the idea of wasting them on stuff I don't know what it even does, but it makes it easier for me to figure out how to play the game. So that's cool, I guess. Okay, so none of the things they don't have anything I want here. I was afraid of that. So let's go to another merchant. Yeah, thanks for nothing, Pops. What are we looking for? Map. There's another set of merchants around here somewhere. Though some of them are nomadic, so they're not always going to be around. The Bestial Sanctum. Yet I never made it to the round table. I guess I'll show you the round table at some point. Again, there are forts you can go into if you want to mess around, see if there's anything you want to do in there. Already made it to Caleb. That's the catacombs. There's another merchant around here. Actually, it might have been a wandering merchant. Yeah, there's a wandering merchant. Yeah, that's a quest giver. Artist Shack, Murkwater Coast. There's a Murkwater dungeon down here as well. Not going in there, but there's a Murkwater dungeon there. I might have mentioned this in the past. I don't know. Okay, I know why Sakuraba Motoe did the soundtrack to a lot of the Dark Souls games. The music in this game is incredibly unremarkable, and I think it's because he was under orders to create a soundtrack that was creepy but never really intrusive. At some point, You know, the boss fights show up and the music really swells, but it's very, very, very unremarkable. It's basically like Castlevania choruses without a melody. He breaks out the choruses, but there's really no like there's no melody to any of the music. It's just basically like it's basically what you would expect from a Dark Souls game if you played those games in the past, which is swelling choruses and no real musical melodies at all. It's basically the laziest Sakuraba music you can ever make, and that's all they asked him to do.
Back already. Unusual.
Too bad.
Fella, aren't we? Did this aged merchant have something that caught your eye?
Sakuraba's music at its best can be really evocative. It's really good at like kind of burrowing its way into your head by really being really catchy with the up-tempo battle music, which wouldn't be appropriate for a game like this, honestly. Or it could kind of settle back, make like really somber music, like what you might expect from a Valkyrie Profile 2 or a Star Ocean. And he never really does it here. It's basically just him being asked to make these swelling choruses and nothing else. And that's unfortunate, I'm afraid. Basically, like it's like before Skyrim, the rap against gods like Jeremy Soule is that he did a lot of generic Hollywood epic choruses, and that was his vibe. But he started developing better melodies over time. He wound up getting Oblivion and Skyrim, and eventually, that's really all you need to know about Soule's musical chops. Is that eventually, when he got the time to really work it out, he was doing that. He was doing that Clannad Anya stuff without the synthesizers. I'm a fan of that, not so much a fan of this side of Sakuraba, because he can do somber stuff really well. But this feels like music for Valkyrie Profile 2 that was too boring to include in the soundtrack. And it's unfortunate, because I'm a massive Sakuraba fan, ever since the PlayStation days when he did Star Ocean Second Story. That's neither here nor there. I have a couple of these. I have one of these keys. I haven't bothered to open any of these stone sword locks, whatever you can call them. I found a few of these when I was wandering around. I guess I can buy some more. Again, I don't know how to craft with these things. I can buy a lantern. What's the point of buying a lantern? I haven't been anywhere where I couldn't see. Probably because I haven't been to any dungeons. I guess this is an extra life, which is nice to have. I probably should buy some arrows. I guess I was expecting more arrows here. So I guess we'll buy a couple. I can buy more. I can buy 9 at this point. These are sleep arrows. They might be useful in some situations. Eventually, you reach a point where the enemy, if you hit them with enough sleep effects, basically when you hit an enemy with a weapon that has sleep affinity, it builds up a sleep meter, so they get drowsier. Then eventually they just fall asleep. So I guess for some stealth builds that'll work, but that's probably stealth builds might be more my style, but it's probably not going to work on a boss, for being honest. There's some elite enemies who will literally dodge any projectile attacks. So that's going to be a problem for me. So I know those two shopkeepers. I don't know where I don't know where the. Let's go to the church. Let's go to church. I don't know where the wandering shopkeepers are, unfortunately. I'll go back. I don't have a symbol that shows what a wandering shopkeeper is. I'm not going to waste a bunch of time hopping around the map trying to find another wandering shopkeeper, though. This is the 4th Church of Marika, not the one who did Toy Soldiers back in the early 90s. Or was it the late 80s? I think it was the late 80s. She wasn't a one-hit wonder. She was a 2-hit wonder, I suppose. At least in America. So I found a couple of items here in the church, but I don't think there's anything else here. So we are not maidenless. Is Millennia here? Melania? She's not here. Occasionally when you go to these sites of grace, Melania will have something to say. A bit of lore, a bit of obtuse lore dumping. I guess you could call it evocative world building. At some point, I never had a conversation in this game that, well, okay, I think there might have been one conversation in this game where I said, okay, that's cute. But there isn't a single person in this game who says, like, yeah, I want to hear more about them. No, because they never say anything. They're basically just elliptical and what's the word? What's the word? Is it elusive? They're constantly alluding to something else. And they are never direct in any way, which is part of the vibe, I'm sure. But it kind of drives me nuts. Here's a divine bridge with a boss I'm never going to beat. Where's the, first of all, where am I? I teleported to a place, I don't know where I am. Press the triangle button. I probably should have gone here. Just a second, let me, yeah, I'm at the church, okay, that's where I am. The Third Church of Marika was one of the first sites of grace that I found. Right here. This is where I was given I believe this is where I was given the steed. That's why I have the horse to wander around with. I started the game here and I went the wrong direction. But, yeah, Dragon Burnt Ruins. Probably should have gone here earlier. But I believe that's a wandering merchant. Yeah, I believe that was a wandering merchant that I found. He might not be there anymore. But the point is that I don't know how to craft anything because I don't know where the crafting kit is. It might be skippable. It might be the kind of, they call it missable. There are secrets in this game and Easter eggs that are missable. If you don't do them at a certain time, you can miss them. I don't know if they disappear forever, but it might be the kind of thing where they regenerate at certain times of day and they're missable. So depending on the time of day, you might not be able to do a certain thing. We're going to go over here and see if that dude's here. He's probably not. There is a boss there. That's a sprint. That's a horse jump. I guess we can call that a horse jump. I put the horse symbols here to show that you need to be on a horse to do things like a spirit spring or to climb certain areas. This is probably me incorrectly calling this spirit spring. I'm using this mainly for plants, but we'll see how it goes. I'm trying to use one symbol for all the horse jumps. The map is interesting because you can see things like a cave is right here. It's not very well drawn, but it's drawn well enough so that that sort of hand drawn cartography on that map really does work. Again, it sells it because it tells you things you might need, but it's not so ridiculously detailed that it looks like a video game map. It looks like the kind of map a human being would draw. And I dig that vibe. And it helps that it's a decent enough map. They even include, contour lines. So you can get some idea about, if there are cliffs or escarpments. Is that the word, escarpments? That kind of thing. And topography does matter in this game a lot because you can't scale cliffs like in Breath of the Wild. But if you look around, you can find gentle slopes or fallen buildings that can be jumped onto, and you can use those to scale around cliffs and reach higher elevations that you couldn't reach before. And it's the same problem with lower elevations. If you're trying to not die, you have to find a safe way down. There's a dude here, right? There's a dude. A dude might be here. Oh yeah, there was that dude that dude who was a tree. Bach. Maybe he might come back at night. Because I did already rescue him by cutting him in half. I ran him through. And I ended his curse, I guess, because he got turned into a tree. Yeah, Bach is right here, but he might reappear later. Because I want to say he was a tree that was right around here. He might come back as an elder tree. The point is I already rescued him, so we don't have to worry about that. So we'll get rid of that. So once you find out where Bach, because the first time you come here, he starts making a racket And you don't know where it's coming from unless you're wearing headphones, to be honest with you. Like, that was a secret I never would have found if I were playing on a regular TV. But eventually I figured out, wait a minute, that tree is making a noise. And I'm like, okay, I just slashed it with my sword out of frustration, and I found him. But I don't know what's going on with that. There's the shopkeeper. He's right there at the bridge. No, that's not a shopkeeper. Forget I said anything. It's not a shopkeeper. Let's use my bow. I can't use my bow. Yeah, I can't use my bow. Sorry, I can't use my bow while I'm on horseback. Too bad, really. So maybe the wandering shopkeeper wandered off. Yeah, so they're guarding the bridges all. Bye. Got several horseback riders. I can't deny it. Hold on. I think we're fine. Yeah, I think he lost interest. So yeah, if there was a wandering shopkeeper, I don't know where they went. Which is what you would expect from a wandering shopkeeper. Oh well, I was afraid of that. So again, I can't find anything here I want to buy. I might start doing some crafting later, but I can't be bothered. So I'll tell you what. Let's go to the Round Table of Lost Grace. That's what it sounds like here. We could also do the Divine Bridge before we end the video. I'm probably not going to bother with it. I didn't spend much time here. Maybe there might be some shopkeepers here. I didn't bother to check. But I said this when I first started playing the game. You know, the first 3 hours when I was playing the game, I said, okay, this is a surprisingly well-crafted open world. Like, it's very dense. There's lots of stuff in this game that you want to visit because it's so creepy and it seems so compelling, and you're curious if there's anything there worth finding, and sometimes there is. You don't have to pick fights, but you kind of want to poke around the edges, kind of see what's there. So I'm a huge fan of the open world in this game. I mentioned topography. I love the fast travel system where you have to find these things, and they're usually easy to find. They're usually easy to find, but some are in out of the way places. So the game does a very good job of making the exploration satisfying. But it's something Dark Souls games couldn't really do because enemies were always in the way and you couldn't avoid them.
You're a new face.
Give me the loot.
No matter. It's all the same. Lay out your arms. Let's get smithing.
Ashes of War. To grant skills in your armor at Sites of Grace. Okay. You can only have one skill. Any skill have. Okay. Ability and fit. Adding a feat. Boost attribute scaling. Yeah. See, again, this is a mechanic I haven't spent any time with. But I'll probably do it later. There's a dagger here that's weak, but apparently that's a quick step. I guess it's another way to. It might be another way to dash around to do a hit and run attacks. I don't know. I mainly use this falchion. I found this falchion somewhere. I don't remember how. And a scimitar. So again, I'm dual wielding. I have a bow. And I have a shield that I never use. I'm gonna have to practice with that, but again, it's not my play style, so I don't know what to tell you. Strengthen the armament with what? I have a smithing stone shard. Okay, so I can make these weapons stronger. Reasonably stronger, too. This one isn't much stronger. Can I whack enemies with this weapon? It looks like I can. It's physical attack damage for some reason. And I can't whack enemies with a shield, as I expected. It costs runes, by the way. Yeah, it costs runes to upgrade this stuff. I can also sell. Oh yeah, about the chains on my legs. I don't... Oh, you mean the chains on his legs? No, the chains on my legs. Not that I can see them. Didn't know I was a slave.
I see you've noticed the chains. Nothing special. I'm a prisoner and these are my chains. I'm trapped by the hold. I'm dying, smithing for you fools. That's all there is to it.
Oh, those chains. I see it.
No, don't read too much into it. I've no grudge against you. My being a prisoner is no fault of yours. Besides, I don't mind smithing. Despite my differences, the weapons get stronger all the same. Given time, technique never fails. Besides, it helps me forget the sheer terror of her.
You just volunteered that information. Well, it's too bad he doesn't have any crafting kits I can use. I guess I can talk to these other people and see what's up. Maybe Sakamoto Hitoshi would come up with a better soundtrack for this part of the game. I don't know. It's just I guess you asked Sakuraba to do a Hitoshi Sakamoto soundtrack. I can't go that way. It's not that Sakuraba can't do it. It's just that they're asking him to do the laziest, literally like the laziest dark gothic soundtrack he could possibly compose, I guess, and that's unfortunate. There might be a couple of good songs in here. I just haven't bothered. I've been trying to listen to the music, and there's really, it's just a music bed. It doesn't grab my attention at all. Use the dressing table. Well, you know we have cosmetic upgrades. Oh, I can change my appearance again. Well, you're never gonna see it. I'm never gonna take off any of this armor. Rebirth? No, I'm not rebirthing. I guess I can change my name. Discard this character. Yeah, sure. I didn't change anything. Oh, hello.
Greetings, great champion called by grace. I am Fia. Circumstances have compelled my stay at the Round Table Hold. Great champion, would you allow me to hold you? But briefly, perhaps you might share with me some of your lively vigor and your stout-heartedness. Doing so will grant me the warmth of a champion, and you, I am sure, will bear a Baldekin's blessing. Do you think it vulgar, perhaps? Where I come from, it is a sacred act.
I guess I'm not maidenless anymore.
Ah, my thanks, great champion.
Interesting pickup line she had.
You
Aww.
are very warm.
Aww.
What you felt light up inside you was a Baldekin's blessing. Though it is but a fleeting thing, I am afraid. Come back to me, should you require another. I will take you in my arms as often as you need.
No comment. Thanks, Mom. Oh, sorry, did I say no comment? Yeah, okay, so... Okay, this was mentioned in the past. A boy in this blob had a dedicated hug button. Well, I've found out that, this game might not have an easy mode, but it does have a hug mode. Literally a hug... She's literally a hug box. Although she might consider that a vulgar term. Actually, no. It's not vulgar. It's sacred. Hugs are sacred. It's been a weird 3 years, y'all. Hugs are good. I'm not suggesting you run out and just hug random people. I think that's called glomping. And in some conventions, in some cities, they don't allow glomping because it's considered a solicitation.
You've met Garank, I take it. Then, owing to our duties shared, we are now comrades in arms.
Comrades.
I think you've earned this. The power of the Golden Order to aid the hunt of those who live in death.
About Lady... No, not Lady D. So, Vampire Hunter of the Dead, huh? Well, he's not just a vampire hunter, he's not just a hunter of vampires anymore. So does what's her name, the hug box, want the D? Wait, what's this incantation? I need runes for it. Deals holy damage. Makes held weapon deal holy. Okay, that's cool. So what's the difference between... Oh, one's a spell, and one's for weapons. Okay, that makes a bit more sense. But I don't have any runes for it now, but I can come back for it later, I suppose. That's all he has.
I serve the Golden Order, that I might put this crooked land to rights, following only the guidance of the great Elden Ring. Those who live in death fall outside the principles of the Golden Order. Their mere existence sullies the guidance of gold, tainting its truth. And so it is the vermin must be exterminated, down to the very last.
There is no dedicated hug button, but there is a hugger in this game. So, I guess Void as Blob on the Wii was that one game with the dedicated hug button. Although you could pet the dog in Fallout 4. Does that count? There's a whole think piece about, what do you call it? Affection mechanics in video games, I guess. I mean, they don't always have to be like Xenoblade Chronicles 2, but we'll talk about that later. What did that, what was the blessing the hug box gave me? I don't even know what that does. Like, is that explained anywhere here? Just a second. Yeah, if I got a blessing, what's the blessing for? I know beggars can't be choosers. I mean, mainless beggars can't be choosers, but what does the blessing give me? Does it extend my life bar? Does it give me more runes when I slaughter enemies? Does it make enemies want to hug me? Just a second. Okay, so I have the blessing. What's it for? Is that it? Let me go back. It's probably on the inventory. Is it mentioned here? It's not mentioned here. I'll go back and get hugged. Give me a second.
I see you've just arrived. Welcome to the Round Table Hold. I'm Corin, a man of the cloth. I teach incantations, the strength granted us by the two fingers, and explore the secrets of the Golden Order, so that one day, if a tarnished of the Round Table Hold should become Elden Lord, I might counsel them, ensuring order regains its proper form, righting rule over men. By the way, do you still see it? The guidance of grace.
Yes. The gold tendrils that extend on the map every time I go to the site of grace.
You do? Wonderful news. Most tarnished are blind to it these days. You are something of a rare breed. Well, what do you say? Care to learn an incantation of the two fingers?
Well, I got plenty of fingers in this game. What do we got? Ooh, healing. Amazing. Now I can actually heal myself. Good lord. Urgent heals sound cool. I don't have enough faith for this. My lack of faith is disturbing because I can't heal myself. Shockwave. Flame fortification. Yeah, flame resistance. Magic fortification. Makes a roaring flame in your hands. That sounds cool. Feast upon flame. So you want to shoot bullets of fire. Like Tina Turner once sang. Healing sounds like a good idea, but I don't have a lot of points for that. So I do have another ranged attack, but I need more faith for that. And of course you can spit hot fire. I mean, you always had the flame spell in Skyrim, as I recall, where you had access to the flamethrower spell in Skyrim pretty quickly.
May the Golden Order shine through you.
Maybe I should have spent more time here before. And you.
Be sure to tell me if you meet a young woman named Lanya. She's a servant to my house. She's been my companion since childhood. I've lost count of the number of times I've had to find her like this. Honestly, she's such a little tomboy.
No, I haven't found any tomboys. I found a hugger, though.
Allow me a word of advice. As your senior, you are a mere visitor to the Round Table. Nothing more. A house guest. Yet to earn their keep. Remember your place, newcomer.
So I guess you're the not trusting anti-hero who doesn't want the protagonist. Yeah, block shut. You don't want the protagonist to actually join your group. So you're the resistor. You're the person I have to win over if I want to join this shonen harem, I guess. It's not a harem, but you know. If you want me to join, you have to prove yourself, rookie. You're not one of us, rookie. You have to do the narratively important thing, rookie. Something like that.
I am pleased to see you again. Would you like me to hold you once more?
Yeah, it's
the
nice.
blessing is still aflame in your breast, dear. Would you like to be held? Regardless?
At the risk of sounding creepy, I just want to know what it does.
Come closer.
Like, is it a blessing that keeps me from dying more quickly? Like what is it? Okay, I know I got the blessing, but I don't know where I can go that actually explains what the blessing
You
does.
are so very warm.
Oh, here we go. The deathbed companion. Oh, Lord. No comment.
I was known as a deathbed companion. Where I come from, after I received the warmth and lively vigor from a number of champions, I lay with the remains of an exalted noble. To grant him another chance at life, to do so is the purpose of my being. But before I could bear the noble into new life, I was awakened by the guidance of grace and chased from my birthplace. Pray, be kind. Despite all that, I still wish to be a deathbed companion. So please, let me hold you like this, as often as it takes. Then good day to you, my dear.
Again, I don't know what it does. So does it last until I die? Yeah, I don't. The dressing table. So again, I don't know what it does. Rather than fill me with feelings, I guess. Do I have to go on the internet to find out what this stupid thing even does? Hold on, it's down here. There it is. Hold on, I need to turn that off. Consumes with one to reduce knockback. That's it? So, embracing the deathbed companion allows you to reduce knockback. So it's going to steal from my meat. That sucks. Well, it might be useful in some situations, obviously. So if you have a bunch of FP, you can consume some of it to recover more quickly from a hit. Or it keeps you from falling off a platform, I guess. I'm sure some fan fiction to be written about that. God, the Elden Ring fan fiction is going to be so creepy. Which is saying something given the kind of game this is. I can't go that way. They might open the door for me once I prove myself, I guess. So we have one more place to go before we end the game. Yeah, I forgot to actually rest. Yeah, I gotta touch grass. I forgot to actually rest here. So once we do that, I'll fast travel to the one more point. I guess we'll end the video. I don't know. So I guess I should come here and actually do some stuff like memorizing spells. Urgent heal sounds good. Yeah, I got my first spell. Now, it probably doesn't heal that much, but it's something I can use instead of a potion. Increase amount replenished by flask. I don't think I have any flash tears. So maybe I'll just use these instead of regular potions. Well, I'm curious how much health I get back, because that's going to determine if I need 5 blue potions or just an extra potion. Add charge to flask. Okay, so I do have an extra golden seed. That's cool. So that's something I can test. And it is nighttime, apparently. So I guess this music's okay. Again, it sounds like, you know, the music that would be playing in, like, a field of flowers at night when you're playing Valkyrie Profile 2. Which is fine. That's kind of the vibe people might have expected from Sakuraba at this point. I mean, I've probably mentioned this in the past. Like, I want to say Sakuraba, he obviously did a lot of music on the Genesis when he was working with Wolf Team and those folks. You know, I think he did Grenada, El Viento. I haven't heard those sounds. That's the kind of soundtrack I would pull out when I was playing another game. I would pull out that soundtrack. I need to listen to more of Sakamoto and Sakuraba's 16-bit music. Neither of them did a lot. They did a lot more work on the Genesis than they did on the Super Nintendo. Actually, I think Sakuraba's only did 2 soundtracks for the Super Famicom. Because Star Ocean 1 never came out in this country until it was re-released in the PlayStation Portable. And I think he did another. I think he did a game with Wolf Team for the Super Famicom that I never played. I don't think he did the soundtrack to. Yeah, that's the dude I have to kill. I don't think he did the soundtrack to Urgent Heal. I don't think he did the soundtrack to no. Tales of Fantasia on the Super Famicom. But I want to say the people who did the soundtrack to most of those Tales games worked with Sakuraba in the past. Okay, so I can't pull this lever. So there is an elevator, but I'm going to have to defeat that guy to get down to the elevator. I'm not in the mood to do a fight. I might do it eventually. Before I end the video, I'll probably just head somewhere and try to whittle down some enemies, but not do anything of importance. The game always did look good, I'll say that. I think God of War is a better looking game. But in its own way, this is one of the best looking games on the console. Which means it is one of the best looking video games ever made. But if you go into some of the dungeons, you can see some of the lighting isn't as good in the dungeons. Like, we were just in the round table area, and some of the lighting isn't great. But the shadows, you know, the whatever illumination solution they got going on here works extremely well. I am extremely impressed. Do I have any runes? Yeah, I got a few of them, not a lot. I can get those back in like 5 seconds. So can I attack him from here is the question. Ugh, jeez. Nope. Yeah, that's a big fat nope. So, in conclusion, well, we might do some more. But in conclusion, this game is... If you're like me and you don't like Dark Souls games, there's still some charm in this game, I think. Nope. I guess that's not gonna work. There is still some charm in this game. You just have to avoid all the Dark Souls BS and treat it as a world you can explore, which I guess might be the best way of doing things. I'm in a combat, so I can't escape. Well, there's another way to escape, if you know what I mean. Actually, no, yeah, I can just sacrifice my runes and just get teleported back somewhere else. So he's on fire, but he's not taking much damage. Yeah, he lost interest. As am I with fighting these large Dark Souls-like bosses, I'll be the first to admit. There is a boss fight here that prevents me from going through the Castle War Tunnel, so I'm not going to go there. What's going on here? There is a rock here behind the castle that leads to a death gauntlet. There's a castle right here that I can't open, so I'm going to avoid that. There's something here I haven't explored yet. Yeah, this is the swamp. There's a red phantom that gets summoned here in the swamp that's going to kill me if I try to fight it. The trees here have avatars I'm afraid to fight. We'll probably try them out later. This is just a straight up dead end. In fact, I think that fast travel point sends you to the impassable Great Bridge down here. I think it sends you over here to the far side of the Great Bridge. So if you want another if you want to be teleported to the eastern side of the Great Bridge, you can do that. Now, what am I gonna do? Yeah, I lost some runes here behind the castle. So we'll probably end the video by getting into a couple of fights down here, I suppose. I'll practice with the new healing spell that I earned. Okay, I feel like an idiot. I should have investigated it before, but whatever. I don't even know how I found this round table joint. I think I spoke to like a person. I think I spoke to a dude in the world. It was some kind of quest giver, I think, in the open world. I stumbled upon him. Now there's a way down. Yeah, there's a way down. So what do we have? How do we? Well, if we can heal, I'm curious if I need a staff to cast that spell. Because if I do, then I'm at SOL. I'm simply out of luck. There is a safe way down. This is it. Triangle. Yeah, you can't summon the steed here, as you would expect. It's a Dark Souls death gauntlet. How many arrows do I have? Let me do a quick check. If I have unlimited arrows, that'll save me a whole bunch of trouble. I haven't bothered to check. I have 5 arrows. Oh, did I use up my last fire arrow? It is possible. We do a quick check against the enemy we see here eventually. Is that a one-way? Well, I can fast travel back up there if I need to. I have to make that jump. Give me a second. Yeah, now it's definitely a one-way. Alright, so this is it. This is the Dark Souls part of the open world video game. Whoops! Okay. When did that happen? Not in the mood for this. Hassan Shop! Thank you. Ah! Bastard! Get off! Get off me! That sucked. That sucked. That really sucked. Freaking Dark Souls. And he got me. Friggin' Dark Souls. Typical. Ah! Not in the mood. Okay, who else do I got? Can I heal? Of course I can heal. Why should I be able to heal? Like I said, friggin' Dark Souls. See if I can... Can't use that. Yeah, I'm running out of arrows. Okay, this won't work. Excuse me. So I can't heal. What was the point of me even buying that spell if I can't heal? That won't work. Ah! Should have snuck up on him. Wrong move. This won't work. Ah, ah, ah. Ow! Okay, this is not going to go well. I'll just avoid everyone. Sounds like a good idea. Let's just avoid everyone. Ow! 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 Guess that wasn't gonna work. I'm gonna have to just slow jam this entire area, which I'm not opposed to doing. I don't mind losing a couple of runes. But yeah, just freaking Dark Souls. So I fell into the cage. I just ugh. This game in a nutshell, if I'm being honest. So I guess I have to combine these two videos. We'll see how it goes. I'm not going to spend much time here. This is bonus footage. So yeah, Dark Souls is okay, I guess. I think we should just end that video and call the rest of this bonus footage. There it is. Stupid. Huh. I guess that's the other way down. Yeah, I don't want to go down that way. So maybe that is the way down? That might be the way down. Wasn't there a ladder or something? I guess not. Friggin' Dark Souls. That did no damage. Couldn't see. Not in the mood. Stabby stabby. Yeah, we need an R1 after the R2 attack. So we could hide here if we needed to. So hold down R2, then finish him off with an R1. Look out. I can just avoid him. Ah, that was a bad idea, whatever I tried to do. This guy hits harder. That's going to be a problem. Get off. I'm trying to climb. Yeah, and I'm dead. We can try one more time. I might be able to beat him. I just don't want to fight him. I kind of just want to avoid him entirely. So, like I said, well, this is bonus footage as far as I'm concerned. I'm not going to spend a whole bunch of time here, but at least I know I can make it through that part of the gauntlet pretty easily. Those enemies go down pretty easily. You just have to be willing to do the basic Dark Souls combat thing. Even if you don't want to do the whole gauntlet. Eventually you got to get to the boss. You're going to have to slip past them, I guess. Figure it out. It's Dark Souls. Eventually you had to go through some kind of mission like this at some point, right? Again, I think if the combat were less Dark Souls-y, I might have given this game a higher rating. I'll admit that. This is a safer drop. I should have gone this way the first place. This is a safer drop. This guy also had an item I could have picked up. I already picked it up, though. Safe-ish. Yeah, safe-ish. See if we can sneak around them. He's down. So, gotta charge up. So let's charge up that R2. Hit him with the R1 a couple of times to finish him off. He's not dead. Darn it, he's not dead. Now he's dead. Let him live long enough to get that last shot on me. Heal. It's too bad I can't heal myself because that stupid heal spell doesn't work. I need a staff just for a freaking heal spell. Hit the triangle button as soon as we get there. Bye. I'm out. Haha, you missed. That guy hits hard. He's going to be a problem. He is not following me. I'm not complaining. He is not following me. It's a Dark Souls game. An axe talisman I'm never going to use. Hooray. You want to know something? He's not following me. I'm not complaining. Okay, so I'm going to take that and bail. Alright. Is that the only reason why this thing exists? I don't know if there's a safe way for me to get down from there. We're going to find out. I didn't get that many runes from fighting those really low-level enemies, so I'm not worried about it. Again, why can't I heal? I have no idea. I memorized the spell. Maybe I need a staff to cast a spell. Stupid. Just a second. We'll have more flasks and golden seeds so I can give myself more potions. So that means I'm somewhat more manageable now. Again, I can't craft anything. So what's the point? I understand that. Okay, but I can't use this because I don't have a freaking staff. My faith is high enough to buy the spell, but I can't use the stupid spell. This could be interesting. Plan B. I could also fast travel out of here. Descend. We'll try a thing. Then we'll leap over the side. We're out! We're out! We're out! Okay, over the side. Down there. Wish me luck. Not dead. Guess he decided to follow me. Didn't know that was part of the plan. Safe way down? Ish. Give me that. What? Crap! Knew that was going to be a thing. Ah, and the golden excrement. Knew that was going to be a thing. Alright, so I guess I'm kind of hosed. I can't jump. Safe way down. Ish. He's going to follow me the entire way, isn't he? Seems doable. I think he lost interest. Good. Alright. Yeah, there's a safe-ish way down. Can't use the steed. Nope, can't use the steed here. Okay, fine. Have to do this the old-fashioned way. The Demon Souls way, I guess one could say. Yeah, I saw one of these before. That looks not very promising. I got some more runes for reasons. Nope. Alright, fine. Fine. I should be able to grab that thing. Just gotta make sure I land directly on that plank. Didn't I see something like that in an earlier Dark Souls game? Large smithing stone shard. There's a safe way down. Safe-ish. Alright. And I have some projectile attacks, actually. Can't shoot directly down. Alright, fine. It's gonna be a thing. Wait, there's a harpy over there. There's a door. Well, screw it. Okay, get up high. Okay, we got something. The harpy. Oh, hold on. We got a thing. We got a thing. Why? No! 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 Darn it! Ah! Crap. Yeah, I can't touch it while he's out here. Darn it! Darn it! Darn it! Darn it! Darn it! I'm gonna have to sneak around him. Or I can just kill him. Stupid. I'm almost out of arrows. I'm out of arrows. Fine. Darn it. Suck it. Suck sword. Alright, now I can finally get around my business. Jeez. Freaking video games. Made some actual progress, though. That could have been a thing. That could have been an absolute thing. Sour went in the flask. Stupid. So I also have to increase the amount I get back. Add a charge. Add 2 golden seeds. That hurt. And I have a flask here, so that's good. So it means I get some of my health back more quickly. At least I get more of my health back, so that's good. Yeah, video games. Friggin' Dark Souls. It's one of those games. So we're going to avoid most of the rats. No other loot, huh? Smoldering butterflies, okay. Whatever. I guess they're usually around the fire. Guess the rats didn't hear that. Guess they don't smell me either. It's probably a boss inside that door. Not the least bit interested in fighting it. Slime. There might be someone hiding. Yeah, there's a slime behind the... Oh, it's like a dragon. I'm not in the mood for that. I don't see any loot. No, there is loot. He's guarding loot. Just a second. Don't do it yet. This is bad. I didn't kill him. That's bad. That's bad. That's even worse. That's not going to go very well either. They cornered me. Grab the loot and die. I got it. I got a throwing dagger. Never going to use them. Descend. Yeah, whatever. We'll descend our way. They're going to follow me, of course, so we'll see how it goes. Potion. No. Can't use the steed here. So I'll just take everything I can before I die. Don't want to fight the jellyfish. Alright, I'm off. It's been fun, kids. This will not go well. Trust me, this will not go well. This doesn't seem that bad. You said portentously. Yeah. A Star Ocean boss dungeon just appeared. Yeah, not really in the mood. Yeah, I'm really not in the mood. Yeah, this will not go well. Whoa, what the? Wow! Just got real. Whoa, what? Careful. Yeah, because there's not a lot of places to hide. And he's fast. That's not going to go well. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that wasn't going to go well. So, now I know another boss I don't want to deal with. So it's like there are boss gatekeepers. There are bosses at the end of the world, I guess. Which, that would be a more reasonable open world setup. Just to have bosses at the end of the world. Have bosses like... Yeah, have bosses like as gateways to other areas of the game. Like literally gated content. But yeah, I'm probably not going to bother with them. I think that's a reasonable place to end this particular playlist for now. When this game drops to $20, I wind up buying it. I'm not scared. We'll see how it goes. But for now, there are a bunch of other games I was trying to sell. So we'll get around to that. I have a bunch of other games I'm trying to play through. So you know what? It feels good to actually play a game that lives up to the hype. I had that feeling when I played Assassin's Creed Odyssey for the first time. I played... What was the other game? Well, obviously Dead Cells. Yakuza Kiwami 2. It's like, okay, this is what people were getting at when they were saying, okay, this series of games is good. In the case of Dead Cells, it was obviously a new IP. But it's like, what's all the fuss about? Well, this is what makes Dark Souls games so great. Well, I played them all, and I'm like, whatever. No. They're claustrophobic death gauntlets. I wasn't really that interested in that kind of combat. Where I have to baby a stamina meter, I can barely move, I might have to parry. Sekiro, I guess, is okay. I rented it. I might play it later. I don't know. But I never felt compelled to play any of these games in the past. But because this has an open world that's worth exploring, and it doesn't make me do these gauntlets just to make basic progress, you get some satisfaction by kind of poking around the world, kind of seeing where you can go. If you get frustrated with an area like this, you can hop out and do something different. Go to somewhere else that might be a bit more to your liking. You could kind of do some of that in Dark Souls 2 and 3, as I recall. But this game apparently does a much better job of it. And it helps that it's an open world that's worth exploring, so you don't feel as though you're forced into doing the Dark Souls crap if you don't want to. Skyrim doesn't make me go down dungeons and do those dungeon crawls all the time if I don't want to. Doesn't make me fight dragons if I don't want to. So putting the game more along those lines is the reason why I think it works for me. Because it doesn't force me into playing a Dark Souls game if I don't want to play Dark Souls. It frames that Dark Souls BS in a context that I find more engaging. It gives me a sense of progress without forcing me to get into these incredibly frustrating boss fights in order to make progress like the other Dark Souls games do. So I just didn't bother with them after a couple of hours. But I'm 20 hours deep in this thing. I'll come back and play it later. I'm going to have to go online and learn more about it, how to actually play it, let's be honest. But that's not unlike Skyrim, to be honest. Skyrim had a bunch of stuff that you couldn't understand when you first played it. But as you learn more about it, the game got better. So I do want to play more of this game. I just have to find other ways to play it. I don't involve me fighting bosses every like 5 or 6 hours. So we'll see how it goes. Elden Ring's a good game, and this rest stop kind of compiles most of the opinions I have of this game up to this point. I didn't play as different characters. I might play as a different character later. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But I'm glad I found the hug box lady. So I recorded this audio with my Skull Candy earbuds into my PS4 gamepad. It's capped at 30 frames a second. Don't complain. But Elden Ring is a pretty good game. The disc version 1.1 is pretty good. They might have cut off some of it, so I'm curious how much harder the game gets once they fix that rune farming bug I did at the beginning of the video. We'll be playing more of this later, I can assure you.